Hi everyone, and welcome to today's lesson about the left hand of the accordion. In today's lesson we'll learn what these buttons do, how they're laid out, and how to find notes. In the second part of this video we'll learn about how to play different rhythms. So again, in the first part today we'll learn how to identify the notes, where to place our fingers, and what these buttons do. And then in the second part, the next video, we'll learn how to actually work with those buttons to create rhythms. So the left hand of the accordion, just as a general guideline, creates the rhythm section. So those sounds that are pa, those deep sounds, those rhythms, or those drones, versus the right hand, which is the melody. Let's get started with how these buttons are laid out. There is a system, it's not so difficult, it's called the Stradella bass system. And if you Google that or you download the link, you'll see how these buttons are laid out. Now, you don't need to memorize things. There is a system, and I'll teach you that system right now. It's a system of rows and columns. And instead of using rows and columns, just because I sometimes get confused, we'll say going up and down, which is, up towards your chin, down towards the floor, and left to right. This is my left, this is my right. So you'll see that going up and down, you have very straight rows. And then going from left to right, you have also straight rows. In my case, probably in your case too, you have 6 buttons that are in a row. Those 6 buttons are always one note. So all these 6 buttons are the same note. All these 6 buttons are a different note. All these 6 buttons are a different note. And then let's stick with that for now. The button that I want you to try and find on your accordion is this button with an indent. And this is the C note. And if you press it, it should sound like this. How do you find that? It's on this second column. Going left to right, it's the second row down. And it's somewhere in the middle, and it has an indent. You'll feel all the buttons here on the second row. On mine, I have 2 buttons with an out dent, or little prickly button, and then one button that's indented, and that button with an indent is the C. So please find that and press it. When I find that I'm pulling and pushing, that's the C, and that's how you orient yourself. You're going to use your ring finger on your left hand and press the C button. Good, that's the C. And that means that this whole row from left to right belongs to the C. The button below it is a C, the button below it is a C. All of these buttons are a C going down or going from left to right from the C. Going up towards my chin, this is a whole other note, and we'll name it G. And that's what it sounds like, G. Okay, just know that wherever you go, and according to the Stradella bass system, you'll find a different note. So C, G, D, A, and then E. I'm walking up towards my chin. Now, the E on my accordion is also indented. And so that's another way to find yourself, to orient yourself around the left hand of the accordion. One tip is, right now I'm sitting down. When we play, the accordion just hangs and it's slow and you can't really see your left hand. To learn, position yourself seated, maybe even in front of a mirror, but tilt the accordion so you can actually see your left hand and where you're placing your finger. This is a really nice way to learn. Place your chin over it. If you have a larger accordion, you might need to use a mirror. Okay, so those are the from left to right. That's from up and down. Those are the notes. Now, let's work on one row at a time. So the C, the third row from left to right, so we have 2, which is the note. The third row are all majors, okay? So if I wanted to find the major of the C, I just go below it, and this is C major. And I use my middle finger to press the major. If I wanted to do a C major, I would do a ring finger on the C, and then my middle finger on the C major. That's what it looks like. Like C major, C major, C major, C major. Try that on your accordion too. C major, C major, And now let go of your hand and try and go to the G, which is one above the C. Okay, see that distance from C to G, and do a G, G major, G, the button below it, G major, or to the left of it, G major, G, G major, G, G major. Now can you come back to the C? C, C major, C, C major, G, G major, G, G major. Good. So again, this whole going up and down are majors. The third row going up and down are all majors, which means you know how to find an E major as well. That's E, E major. Good. The one below that, or the one to the left of the major, is the minor. And we're going to use our pointing finger to play the minor. So if I asked you to find a C minor, how would we do that? We'd go to the C, skip over the major, and play the minor. And you do hear that it's a sadder sound. So if I asked you to do a C, C minor, you would press C with your ring finger, and the minor with your pointing finger. So C, C minor, C, C minor. And if I asked you to play an E minor, how would you do that? You'd go up to the E. The mine is indented, and play an E, E minor, E, E minor. Good. And those are the basics. This is the foundation of the accordion. So the note itself is this second row. The one below it is major, and the one below it is minor. And all songs, majority of songs, let's say, that we're going to go through in these lessons are made of major and minor chords. The ones below it we're not going to go through today, but the one below the minor is the seventh, and the one below that is the diminished. And you're going to use your pointing finger to play those, but we won't do that in these lessons. So that's the basic system: note, major, minor. Now, how do we find notes? We know that C is indented, that's fine, but how do we get to D or F or B flat? So there is in the Stradella bass system, I would print out the chart if I were you, and you'll notice an interesting thing that this is called the circle of fifths. But what I want you to know is that if you have the C and you skip one, you'll get to D. And by skip one, I mean skip the one above it, the G, and get to D. If you skip the D, you get to E. Very good. Now, this is according to a piano keyboard, so we're skipping a whole step. So after E is not F, after E is F sharp, because there is no E sharp. This is more, I guess, piano keyboard theory. But what you should know is the circle of fifths. You go up 5 whole notes to get to the note above, towards your chin. What does that mean? From the C plus 5, C, D, E, F, G, I get to G. G plus 5, G, A, B, C, D, I get to D. D plus 5, D, E, F, G, A. A, B, C, D, E, I get to E. So that's a circle of fifths system. If you're a music student or if you've played piano before, this will make sense to you. If not, work with the chart in front of you with a Stradella bass system, or the computer in front of you, or print it out, and just familiarize yourselves with the notes from B flat, F, C, G, D, A, and E. Those are the notes we'll be working with. And again, a fast way is that if you're on the F and you want to get to G, so F is the one below C, and you want to get to G, you just go plus, you skip one. So from the F, skip one, you get to G. Skip one, you get to A. Good. Now, some exercises to learn the Stradella bass system. Again, using your ring finger, I want you to verbalize as you go up the, let's call it the keyboard, the Stradella bass system. So start from the F, and that's below the C, and you're going to say F, C, G, D, A, E. And what I want you to get familiar with is this movement of going up and down. What we tend to do as beginners is it's hard to tell if I'm going up, maybe I'm landing on the first row. It's hard to know if I'm going up and I'm landing on the major row. So what I want you to do is to just really familiarize yourself with going up towards your chin and staying on that row. And it's easier if you say the names of the notes. F, C, G, A, D, E. That's exercise number 1. Exercise number 2 involves skipping a note. So from F, skip C, go to G. Skip, go to A. And then if you have it, skip, go to B. And you'll see the progression of right, da, 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 da. It should go higher and higher. Choose any key. You don't even need to know its name. Start from the bottom and skip one. Right, and it should go up. And the same idea, another exercise, the continuation of it is going down. So from here, skip one, skip one. Right, and you don't actually have to have the accordion making any noise. Sometimes when I sit in front of the TV, I'll sit with the accordion and just practice skipping notes. In the beginning, you might want to feel it out, right? My fingers resting on the note that I'm skipping. Perfect technique, great. As you get more advanced, you'll learn how to jump. But for now, really just lay your finger on the buttons and let it hover between them. So that's the exercise. Land on a note and jump over one to get to the next one. Another really, really useful exercise is I want you to, let's say, start from the C with your ring finger, and then go to the one right next to it, G, and then back to C. It should sound like bum, bum, bum. Choose anywhere on the keyboard to do the same thing. And again, we're just playing the note. We're just playing on this row, going up and down, the second one from the left. So those are sets of exercises. The next thing you can do once you become familiar with that is to practice your majors and your minors. Now, we're not getting to rhythms yet, but I want you to become familiar with the movement of the note, C, and then pressing the major. And again, that's the motion of, am I hitting the major that's right below it? And I want your fingers to get to that position. So C major, C major. And if you do feel advanced, like you want to try a rhythm, try an papa rhythm, which is bass, tone, tone. C, C major, C major, C, C major, C major, C, C major, C major. Right? And that's a basic papa. And then try the same thing next to it with a G, G major, G major. And then back to C. Good. Same thing with minors. Ring finger, and then minor. Right, so C, C minor, C minor. Or if you don't want to do a rhythm, just C, C minor. G, G minor. D, D minor. So again, I'm going up and down the keyboard and just making sure that I'm going up and down correctly and that I can hit the majors and the minors. So again, that's the lesson. That's the Stradella bass system. Practice slowly. Don't worry about the right hand. Find a quiet room and practice a little bit every day. And if you have any questions, please let me know.